SCSRA Cards Series here tonight. And we will be running here at Texas Motor Speedway. 150 laps the distance here tonight with a stage break at lap 40. And these SCSRA Cup drivers rolling in off of Las Vegas last week. So more consistent with the track design from last week. These drivers looking to carry the momentum that they had from Las Vegas here into Texas. There was a little bit of drama in the last race. And once the dust settled, the win was credited to Charles Stevens from Vegas last week. I'm gonna have to play some catch up to know exactly all of what happened. Been pretty hectic on my end, so. But here we are, rolling into Texas tonight. Currently fastest in practice, it's John McNeil, Charles Stevens Jr., Matt Bands, Jesse Whittington, and Matt Parasini, your top 5 here in the practice session. We will have the in-car cam yet again for Jesse Whittington here tonight, featured throughout the broadcast. So that's what happened last week. Zach Lockett ended up with the win once the checkered flag waved. However, he had an unclaimed penalty, post-race penalty actually, that was enforced, and by the rule book was a restart violation. Once the pace car pulls onto pit road coming to the restart, the leader must maintain plus or minus 2 miles an hour of pace speed coming to the restart zone. So the first offense was obviously the win was revoked, negative 5-point penalty. The next eligible driver in line was none other than Charles Stevens, who is in the Rookie of the Year battle this year. That definitely gives him a step up rolling into this week, where he's got 91 points over Joshua Freed, who's got 75 points in that Rookie of the Year battle. Five minutes left in practice here, and let us take an opportunity to shout out some of our sponsors here tonight. This series brought to you by Dev Sports Card Sales, which you can find on eBay. the primary partner of the SCSRA and a consistent supporter of this league. If you check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay, you'll find their listings. They have a fresh batch of auctions from star rookies to vintage chase cards, plus 25-cent combined shipping on qualifying orders. If you want to support the people who support sim racing, check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay before those listings expire. Some other partners that are here with us in Intensity Broadcasting, I would like to give a shout out to Butt Kicker, bringing a whole new dimension to immersive entertainment. Butt Kicker has pioneered tactile feedback technology that lets you feel the action. Whether you're behind the wheel in a sim rig, watching a blockbuster in your home theater, or in the studio dialing in the low end. With 2 decades of industry leadership, their haptic transducers convert audio signals into physical vibration, turning sounds into sensations. If you've ever wished you could feel that racing shift, explosion, or bass drop, Butt Kicker makes it real. And, of course, with our other partner here at Intensity, in racing, everyone prepares for the competitors they can see, but one of the toughest opponents a driver can face never shows up on the timing screen. The hidden opponent is tackling the mental health battle inside the helmet, educating athletes, supporting teams, and giving the racing community language, tools, and leadership to talk about what usually stays silent. Because when drivers confront the hidden opponent, it doesn't just make them faster, it makes the whole garage stronger. And so they are a mental health coaching, kind of a mental health awareness non-profit organization. Definitely, if go ahead and give them a look. Check them out. We got the links down at the bottom here. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, Twitch, wherever you're watching from here today, go ahead and support those companies that have invested their time with us here at Intensity. And so that kind of gets us caught up to the race here tonight. We're rolling into qualifying here shortly, just another 2 minutes left on the practice session. It's going to be interesting to see who's got what it takes to sit it on the pole here tonight. So after 2 races, the points lead has shifted. It has shifted to our rookie sensation in that of Charles Stevens, who gained 3 spots after the Las Vegas race to gain the points lead with his credited 1 win. Currently sitting in second is your defending champion, Jesse Whittington. Third is Josh Hall after 2 consistent finishes at the opening of the season here. 2 top 5s has gotten Josh Hall up to 3rd in the points. Then you've got Josh Freed and John McNeil rounding out your top 5. Just missing out on the top 5 in points at the moment. You got Ryan Gomes, Jorge Ledesma Jr., Joshua King, Vince Brent, and Matthew Fritz. Well, the practice session is over. We're going to get rolling into qualifying here. We'll do the hot potato, jumping around the field, seeing what everyone's laps are looking like here tonight. Alrighty, our first driver leaving pit road to take the laps here. It looks like the 24 of Matt Parasini. Also on track, you got the 77 of Nathan Brzezowski. Joshua King for Royalty Racing in the number 17. Jorge Ledesma Jr., number 44. Let's hop back to Parasini and see what his first time lap here is tonight. Coming from Stony Plain, Alberta. And his first timed lap is a 29.45. Hopscotching around a little bit more here. We got Matthew Fritz rolling out in the number 67 Chevrolet. Matt Parasini's time is holding up over Jorge Ledesma, Joshua King, and Nathan Brzezowski, as all three of them were slower than Parasini on their first lap. Josh Hall out on track now as well, the number 81. Out of Chicopee, Massachusetts. And that Dev Sporting Cards number 81 Ford Mustang looks pretty slick out there on track. Here is his second and final timed lap. He's going to roll across the line and jump. Actually dropped. He dropped down to a 30.85 from his first lap at a 30.30. Here we have your Rookie of the Year leader and the race winner, credited from last week at Vegas, Charles Stevens Jr. His first lap was good for fourth quickest at a 29.56. And Matt Parasini, his lap time is still holding true here. Charles was only able to jump up to third with a 29.53. Here we have Ryan Gomes, the number 55 Ford Mustang. And unfortunately not much faster there on his second lap. Here we have Jesse Whittington, and we'll go ahead and do our first side-by-side dial-up here tonight. It's mostly for me to make sure all of the tools are working at my disposal here. Here comes Jesse's first time lap on the exit of turn 3 into turn 4 here. We've got about 4 cars left without a time turned yet here. Jesse Whittington, one of those 4. His first time lap is at 32.14, so we'll see what he picks up here on the second lap. That was kind of a break-in lap there to try and get the rubber warmed up, I believe. Warren Kyle Keith just jumped up to 4th quickest on his time lap. Oh, and there we have a new pole setter. Garrett Walden jumps to the front of the field here. Jesse Whittington on his second lap is good for 8th. And it looks like that might be the end of qualifying. Couple of the drivers pushing it right to the edge there on getting their qualifying in before time expired. And so with that, we will go ahead and show the starting lineup here. Starting front row, bumping. Quite a few people bumped Matt Parasini at the end there. You've got Garrett Walden and Joe Irwin on the front row, followed by Justin Parham and Sharn Hill. Warren Kyle Keith alongside Matt Parasini, Joshua King, and Jesse Whittington. Charles Stevens Jr., Jorge Ledesma Jr. You got the juniors rounding out the top 10 there. Matt Bayens and Vince Brent. Then you've got Trey Spears, Jay Stinson, John McNeil, Lauren Vincent, Kenneth Redinger starting deep. Matthew Fritz also on the deep starting position there in 18th. Nathan Brzezowski, Josh Freed, Zach Stevens, Ryan Gomes, Josh Hall, Billy Tidoff, and the last driver, Sylvain Sigoin. And so kind of a new front of the field here. We haven't seen them front and center after qualifying up to this point, so kudos to them for nailing the hot lap here tonight. As mentioned, it's 150 laps the distance here at Texas. Stage break with stage points on the line at lap 40. So Garrett Walden with the pole. He is racing for Cypress Academy. And evidently Joe Irwin, a free agent. We don't have a team name tied to him quite yet. And then, of course, Justin Parham with Venom Racing. Sharn Hill with Royalty Motorsports. And Warren Kyle Keith. Also with Royalty Motorsports. So couple Royalty Motorsports cars starting top 5 here tonight. And Justin Parham driving the tribute car to South Park, I guess is the best way I can put that. That's kind of funny.
Green flag, green flag.
Here we are, green flag waves, and we're rolling here at Texas tonight. As they go roaring into turn 1 here. 40 laps the distance in that first stage. It's going to kind of set them up for a quick sprint here to get to that first break. Obviously, there's no telling if maybe we get a little too racy here in the first stage and get some caution breaks to help kind of stagger it up. But for now, Joe Irwin to the top, knocking Garrett Walden down a peg from his pole starting position. Already off in the early start here, dropped 3 spots is Jorge Ledesma Jr. And he just dropped another spot back to 4th. Nathan Brzezowski kind of shot out of a cannon here since the start, plus 6 spots. So we'll kind of keep an eye on the ups and downs. Jay Stinson, unfortunately, dropped 11 spots. I'm wondering if maybe there's some internet issues on that number 31 car here to have dropped all the way off. Well, maybe, maybe internet We'll see here. First caution, and it involves that 31 of Jay Stinson. Oh, wow. Josh Hall gets into it. Couldn't quite tell who that was, if that was Sylvain. Yeah, Sylvain Segon. But then after the caution, unfortunately, it looks like Charles Stevens gets spun out here as well while they're getting woed up for the caution. And wow. Okay, he's able to minimize the damage there. But the driver with the most damage, unfortunately retirement bound, I believe, will be this third of Jay Stinson. Which it's weird that his car was credited with 25th, so it makes me wonder if he did lose some connection and then it put him back in trouble there. So tough break for Stinson, wrecking out early on this one. Segon gets a small clip there onto the inside. Alrighty, so first caution here tonight. Joe Irwin leading the way. Alrighty, get settled in here, folks, as they're doubled up for the restart. Kind of seeing some variety in the paint schemes this week that I haven't seen yet before. Like I mentioned, the one, obviously a South Park-esque scheme. This here is a Zaxby ride, and we'd seen previously kind of unpainted number 99. Well, I take that back. It was camo, so it was hard to tell because you couldn't see it out there on the racetrack. But here he is with the Zaxby's number 99. That's a nice looking ride for Kenneth Redinger. There we go. That's a better angle. Real Chicken Zaxby's number 99. Car is going to pull off here. The driver's going to do their best to get the restart rolling here. Lap 6 rolling into lap 7.
Green, green, green.
We're back rolling the 03 with a great jump there. Joe Irwin driving away with that lead. They come roaring into turn 1 again. Garrett Walden in second, Justin Parham in third. tough part looking at point standings this time of the season when you're only 2 races in. It's kind of hard to start drawing up those storylines. I mean, this is kind of the, the blank canvas, and we've only drawn 2 objects on that canvas with the 2 races. And so, yeah, it's kind of hard to look at the point standings and have an idea for who's got what it's got to take that championship all the way to the end here this year. I don't think you're going to get a very, very stable picture until maybe about 5 to 7 races into the season. And so with Texas here tonight, this is going to be a good indication between Texas and Las Vegas last week to kind of get a feel for who's got the mile-and-a-half prowess. When you're looking at the schedule, there's a good mix of mile-and-a-half tracks still to go. Later, we've got Charlotte, Atlanta, which is kind of a wild card race. That'll be the 9th race of the season, the regular season. Oh, I'm looking at ARCA. Let's hop over here. Yeah, it's still Atlanta on that 9th race. And then Kentucky and Homestead, the other mile-and-a-half tracks to actually cap out the season. So it's pretty, safe to say that the championship goes through these mile-and-a-half tracks. And you have the last 2 races at the end of the season on a mile-and-a-half racetrack. And getting an idea for the drivers in these first 2 weeks is pivotal for what might come at the end of it. So we're under caution for the second time here on lap 11. And let us find the replay here. So right there you got the 39 of Josh Freed. He is top 5 in the points rolling into tonight. What happens here? Ooh, the 07 gets loose. Lauren Vincent, it just looked like it got ugly loose on him there. And unfortunately collected the 39 of Freed. I need to go back and see how that happened. Let's watch from the full lap leading into the backstretch there. Looking at Lauren Vincent. Car's a little bit loose. Corrects it, overcorrects it, and just loses it, unfortunately. And unfortunately, Josh Freed was just wrong place, wrong time. Got collected in that. That would be the 79 also involved, Billy Titoff. Let us hop back a lap on him as well. It just looked wild how it hooked so hard loose there. Titoff might, that might not be. No, he hit pretty hard on the 31 there. And I do believe they get a quick repair in the race. So to burn the quick repair this early is gonna definitely sting. So we'll see what happens to those individuals that were involved in that wreck. We may or may not see them for the remainder of the race. Billy Titoff is off on pit road there. So is Josh Hall. And Jay Stinson, after the extensive damage his car took, it seems like he's sitting it out right now. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to stay maybe on the lead lap here. We'll see. Yeah, Titoff stays on the lead lap. So, lucky break there. We'll see how well the car functions if, and it looks like they may not actually get quick repairs. So, might come on the super speedway tracks They're actually spending the time on pit road to get these things fixed to their full extent. So yeah, tough break for Titoff and Hall as they're doubled up to get ready for the restart here on lap 13. Irwin and Walden lead the field to the restart with Parham in third. Also moving up through the field, it's Warren Kyle Keith, who had a great qualifying run. He's just holding his own there, moving ever closer to the front of the field. Top 5 really hasn't changed a whole lot. Parasini was 5th fastest. Looks like Sharn Hill kind of sneaking into the picture as well. Josh King, John McNeil, they are, wow, the restarts are wild. The jump that the 03 gets on the inside.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh, and they're wrecking in the background again. Well, third caution of the night. This is definitely a kind of a change in pace from the first 2 races of the season here in the SCSRA Cup Series. A little bit more chaotic. So let us jump back and see what the caution was caused for. And I'm wondering if they got a little bit bunched up on the restart here. You can see the 92 up there giving the 77 a bit of a shove. I think it's one of those slinky effects when the other cars up front don't get rolling quite as quickly. We're watching the 84 of Charles Stevens here. He's the one that gets involved in a wreck. He cooked it. He got a little too whiskey throttle there and got loose. I myself have made that mistake in iRacing. And this next gen car, to be quite specific, they are kind of hard to get up through the gears. And I don't know if maybe he was in second gear or what, but you know, it's sometimes just the difference of being 1 gear light or 1 gear heavy, and that car just wants to rip itself out from underneath you. So tough break for your Rookie of the Year candidate. He's going to have to drop to the back again. So what these cautions do is helps Billy Titoff get some repairs done on that 79 machine. Looks like he's going to continue getting a little bit of repairs done and stay on the lead. For him, that's all he can do is maybe hope for some other cars to have some troubles here tonight, gain some spots, and minimize the damages. Looks like Josh Hall, unfortunately, still has not left pit road, and he's gone a couple laps down now. But here we go. Doubled up again for the restart after our third caution of the night. Cautions breed cautions, as they always say. And Joe Irwin just enjoying the caution time so that he can rack up the lead laps here. Try to get the bonus points for leading laps, leading in front of the field. Bonus points coming at the end of lap 40 for the stage in. And I'm assuming now that we've had these caution breaks, it's going to kind of ramp up the intensity a little bit. These drivers aren't going to want to sit idly by and finish runner-up in the stage. Might see a little bit of action, a little bit of excitement here for the restart on lap 18.
Green, green, green.
Man, it is crazy that 03 gets rolling so quickly through the gears. Whatever he's doing, it is working here tonight. Joe Irwin killing it on the tree. Kyle Keith makes up a spot into third there. Justin Parham drops back into fourth. Now John McNeil into the top 5 after gaining 10 spots here. And Nathan Berzowski up 12 spots into 7th at number 77 Chevrolet. Joe Irwin kind of doing a snake maneuver on the backstretch there. Wonder if that's to try and break the draft of his competition behind him. Kind of all over the board on the line. The race line, very interesting to watch on this 03. File all the way through the top 10. And we're starting to get a decent green flag run rolling. That paint scheme again this week. Nothing instills fear in your competitors more than the gold and black trim of a race car. That's probably the only thing that Dale Sr.'s car was missing. The Intimidator put fear in folks with the black car. When you think about the gold, you know, it's kind of distracting when you're racing amongst other drivers. The shine, the sheen, I'm sure it doesn't faze them, but you'd like to, you know, if you're the number 5, you'd like to think that it adds a little extra aggression to the race factor when racing against the other drivers. There we have Nathan Berzowski, as I mentioned, up 12 spots so far. Make that 13 as he gets by the number 5, Sharon Hill. Berzini has dropped back 1 spot since the start of the race. I think kind of saving his stuff, figuring out what the car has got. Maybe saving it for a push to the finish here tonight. In 9th place, we've got Matthew Fritz. Matthew Fritz racing for Venom Racing, part of the Venom Racing stables. And then getting alongside of him right now is the 94 Jesse Whittington for Cypress Academy. At this stage of the race, it's no better time than to dial up our side-by-side camera for our in-car driver here tonight, Jesse Whittington.
It's loose. Wow. And I hope I didn't
The
cause
yellow
that
flag is
jinx.
out.
We hopped into the car at the wrong time. Or maybe it was, it was ill-timed for sure. We jumped into the in-car and caught that in action. So unfortunately for Jesse Whittington, that's going to drop him to the back. He had a good run going up into the top 10. Car just kind of got loose and got away from him there. Let's catch the replay on that one. And so as you saw it live and in action with the side-by-side in-car cam, here he is racing with Fritz. And man, it was loose in the middle of the turn. I don't think the 12 did much to cause it, but he didn't do a whole lot to help stop it either, as he kind of kept in the throttle there with the 94 spinning in front of him. Finally, 94 goes all the way around. There was an extra wreck that happened later down the racetrack here. That was a hard hit for Stevens there. The 99, ow, that's going to be where the extra wreck happens there. The 99 of Kenneth Redinger. And unfortunately, in yet another wreck here tonight, the 39 of Josh Freed. He got a good bit of that wreck, the extracurriculars after the initial wreck there. 44, Jorge Ledesma loses it on the apron, trying to avoid the rest of the drivers. And that is what brought us under caution for, I believe, the 5th time tonight. Alrighty, the lights are off on the pace car. It's going to be about a 10-lap shootout here for the first stage of the night. Or simply the stage. We don't have multiple stages here. So it looks like 21 cars out on track. 22. And haven't gained yet another spot. Warren Keith up into 3rd from 5th place here tonight. Making some moves little by little. The number 9 could be a contender for the stage win. Let's see if the 03 gets another killer restart here. Man, that was a different kind of restart. It looked like he kind of held up there. Got a bump from the 9, and that really disturbed the flow of the restart there for everyone else involved. that Warren. Kyle Keith up into second. Oh, Parham hits the wall hard on the inside. Race stays green. I don't think we're going to get a caution as no car was truly completely sideways in the caution to bring it, if that is. Man, his car is donezo, unfortunately. Let's just see exactly how this all plays out here. It's like Brzezowski a little bit on the attack, some aggression there, and these cars just do not like aero disturbance. That 19 was just barely disturbed in the air, and it hooked hard to the left, forcing him into the wall on the inside. We might have a battle for the lead brewing here. The number 9 right there knocking on the door of the 0-3. John McNeil also gaining another spot. He's up 12 total here tonight into third. Nathan Brzezowski up 13. Ryan Gomes up 13. 13 might be the lucky number at the moment, moving through the field. Joe Irwin starting to stretch it out a little bit here on Keith. That's a tough break for Parham. He had a great car here tonight. Unfortunately, that sinks any shot he had at winning the race here. He's exiting the pits now, so yeah, they must have at least one quick repair. The other drivers we saw, they must have burned their quick repairs early in the race, because there's no way that car would be back running that quickly. It was a quick repair to get back out there. Now the number 9 under attack by the 48 of John McNeil. 9 looking a little bit loose here. That opens the door for McNeil. McNeil was not able to execute, and now Garrett Walden jumps to the inside. Keith is about half second off the lead. Joe Irwin starting to stretch it out a little bit. That was a wild move in the background there. Kind of just caught it out of the peripheral. Up 2 spots from the start of the race, up into 4th. Sharon Hill, unfortunately, has dropped 5 spots back to 9th from his starting position. No one has dropped harder. The hard break might be the number 19, Justin Parham. At least for now. We'll see if he can maybe bounce back, scrap his way back in. But he fell a lap down, and he's credited 22nd, 19 spots back from where he started. Alrighty, lap 39 of 150. We've got another lap, and then the end of this stage. Joe Irwin running away with it at the moment. He has not shown much faltering here tonight. That 03 is not wrong yet. And you notice as we are in the day to night transition here at Texas, the track getting a little bit darker. I mean, setups might change a little bit. And there you have it. Stage 1 here tonight belongs to the 03 of Joe Irwin.
The yellow flag is out.
Warren Kyle Keith gets second in the stage. John McNeil third. Matt Parasini fourth. Garrett Walden from pole position back to fifth. Nathan Brzezowski up 13 spots into sixth. Trey Spears in 12th, in seventh in the number 12. Vince Brent, Sharon Hill, and Ryan Gomes round out your top 10. Jesse Whittington, after spinning out, looks like he's kind of settled back into 14th at the moment. He might be looking to make some swings on pit road to get this car dialed in for the next stretch. 110 laps, 100 lap push to the finish here tonight. So we've seen some comers through the field, definitely. It's looking like the setups on the cars may be a factor here tonight. Drivers that have maybe a long run setup starting to rise to the top. It was the longest green flag stint we had there in this last run for about 5 to 6 laps, I want to say, was the run there. There's some gamesmanship going on. I don't know if the 9 is going to stay out. Nah, it's just gamesmanship at its finest. Commit like you're staying out, but pull in last minute to come down pit road. Try to keep the competitors guessing. As we're 40 laps into this one, it's pretty much an opportunity to make the window work for you. Otherwise, you'd be having to pit at about lap 60 to 65, which is still, not even going to give you a run to the finish. So at least this, after the stage, you can kind of break it into a 2-stop race. Joe Irwin regains the lead after the pit stops there. Warren Kyle Keith second. John McNeil third. Matt Parasini, no changes there. However, new 5th place driver in Nathan Brzezowski as he gained yet another spot up into 5th. So gained 1 spot. He's up 14 total from the start of the race. Vince Brent, Trey Spears, Garrett Walden unfortunately lost 2 spots on pit road there, and he's fallen back outside the top 5. Ryan Gomes gains a spot on pit road. Sharon Hill in 10th. Kenneth Redinger, Matt Baynes, Jesse Whittington, Josh King, Jorge Ledesma Jr., Billy Titoff. Now, Titoff, even though he was involved in that wreck, it looks like he's managing just fine. And that might have been a strategy on his behalf to not burn the quick repair, as we saw him making fixes on the car, knowing it's a long race, and somewhere later in the running you'd be getting a wreck that was far more severe. He took his time on pit road to get that 79 fixed, and he's back in business. Currently 15th in the running order, but 15 of about 21 cars. As we get doubled up, our stage in the books. The rest of the race, there is not going to be any stage breaks to save them now. Might be some breaks in the racing action with competition-based cautions based on wrecks and other shenanigans that could unfold here. But the stages are done and over with. We could see a race with more wrecks, or we might see 105 laps of non-stop racing here. We'll have to wait and see.
Green, green, green.
We're back and rolling here tonight. That 03 not skipping a beat on the restarts. 48, that's John McNeil now up into second. He's capitalizing on having that inside line for the restart. Oh, and we're wrecking.
Caution, yellow
There's a
flag.
car almost flipping completely over. And that looks like it's going to involve some heavy hitters that got caught up in that one. That definitely did not look pretty. So let's see exactly how this all transpired. You can already see the 77 of Nathan Brzezowski drifting like a Formula Drift car on the exit of turn 2. Wow! And then in front of them, that wasn't even on Brzezowski. The wreck happens in front of him. Ooh, he gets way out of control there as he's sliding back across the line. Racing surface. Woo! Ledesma loses it to try and avoid the 77. The 17 of Joshua King unfortunately clips Brzezowski there. Ledesma and Keith get into it a little bit. We're going to have to dig a little deeper in that one. So we'll watch one more time at quarter speed. The exit of 2, both cars were loose there and ugly loose. And I think that's just one of those, the next gen cars quirks. These cars do get kind of ugly. Even the best of the best have complained about the cars feeling out of control. And then you got some more wrecks in the background there. 39, yet again, Josh Freed involved in another wreck. Well, and that's just one of those things everyone else is checking up in front of you, and not much you can do about getting run into from behind. Well, shoot, that's going to shake things up here now as we get rolling at about lap 50 for tonight's restart from caution after 7 cautions have marred the start of this race. It's been very caution heavy. Joe Irwin, though, has led pretty much the whole time, avoiding any drama, any turmoil at the front of the field. Vince Brent jumps up to second in the running order. First time we've seen that 92 car at the front of the field in the first 3 weeks of action. Kenneth Redinger. I'll take that back. We've seen Brent up front a couple times, but it's definitely a welcome sight to see some new blood at the front of the field here. Especially like Joe Irwin. And he had a race going at Vegas, but then unfortunately lost control of it. The 03 looked stout. He was climbing through the field, kind of like what we're seeing from a couple of the drivers that qualified deep here tonight. He did that last week at Vegas, but fortunately for him, he had a good starting position today, so he hasn't had to climb through the field. Matt Bands in the 72. Jesse Whittington back up into the top 10. John McNeil, even after doing a quarter flip, flipping onto the door, and then flipping back onto all 4, he's still in the top 10. So enough drivers were involved in that wreck that he didn't lose too much spots from the drama there. We'll get restarted here on lap 49. 101 laps to go from Texas.
Green flag.
And Joe Irwin clicking yet again on all cylinders. Kenneth Redinger, oh, and there's trouble for Sylvain Seguin. Not getting up to speed, the car maybe not happy. And there we have Kenneth Redinger up 15 spots now into second place. Look out, Sharn Hill back on the mend. He's climbing back into the top 5, knocking on the door of third. Laps to go. Joe Irwin extending that lead pretty strong in the front of the field right now. Kenneth Redinger not really able to close the gap on the green.
Caution, yellow flag.
Alrighty, this will be our 8th caution tonight. We'll have to do some count here before long. So, 8th caution is brought out by, looks like, the 66 of Sylvain Seguin. Oh, not really. It wasn't anything that Sylvain did wrong. 39 of Josh Freed just lost it. Turn 2 is treacherous here tonight, folks. That has been the same spot that has gotten some of the best drivers here. We saw Jesse Whittington, you know, kind of shaking it out with the track here, and now Josh Freed and a few others that have been involved in wrecks here tonight, they're just losing it on the exit of turn 2. So it's definitely a tough part of the track that's claimed the victims here tonight. Well, Jesse Whittington's climbed back through the field, up into 6th. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of a restart we'll get with Kenneth Redinger on the outside of Joe Irwin. Justin Parham gets a wave around, so that's huge, as I believe that'll put him back on lead lap, possibly. And so even with the quick repair, the severe damage that we saw out of the 19, he's back and rolling and potentially with a shot to get back into this. Chance that the points are going to get shaken up again here tonight, as Charles Stevens is your current points leader. For him, he's gotten a long road ahead. Laps down tonight in 23rd. That's going to hurt him in that Rookie of the Year battle where he's got the Rookie of the Year lead. Jesse Whittington second in the points. Seems to be like he'll be the most to gain, as he's really the top runner of our points contenders in the top 10.
Third place, Josh Hall, out of the race in 25th. Joshua Freed has been multiply involved in cautions here tonight. He's 4th in the points, 20th at the moment on the racetrack, could drop him deep outside of the point standings. The only other driver in the mix with Jesse Whittington that's in the point standings looks to be John McNeil, who sits 5th in the points alongside Jesse Whittington, who's 2nd. Vince Brent, who we see in 3rd there, he sits 9th in the points. And that's about it for the most part. So Ryan Gomes is doing all right. He sits 6th in the points, but he's got some work to do on these restarts. He's back in 18th since the end of the stage kind of swapped hands for him there.
Green flag, green flag.
We're back and rolling here tonight at Texas. Jumping it up into 2nd again, that is Vince Brent, the number 92. Making hay while the restart's fresh. Redinger in 3rd. Matt Baines up to 4th. John McNeil running in 5th. Not even flipping a quarter of the way over is going to stop John McNeil here tonight. He's climbing through the field like a madman. What's impressive here, though, is the utter dominance out of Joe Irwin. He looks like a slot car out there, glued to the track, just laying out killer laps in that number 03. Some drivers just have tracks, figured out a little better than the others, and I feel like Joe Irwin might be one of those guys tonight that knows the track a little better. We haven't seen him make the mistake on turn 2 like so many of the other drivers here tonight. And that could come down to setup, that could come down to tire pressures. Honestly, there's a lot of factors that contribute to what we are seeing out of the cars spinning here in turn 2. And so perhaps setup rich for the 03. The others just trying to make adjustments so they can get it through to the finish. Sharn Hill, unfortunately, involved in a wreck. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that's the 92 of Vince Brent. I wonder if there was a internet connection issue there for the car to just freeze. No, he's back and rolling. What in the world happened? Oh, he got loose. That was actually a little bit earlier in the exit of turn 1. Tough break. Yellow flag now. We have a yellow flag now. As we were watching that replay. Oh no, Billy Titoff loses it on the exit of turn 4, coming to the start-finish line. Oh, and then the 44 of Ledesma hit him hard. Nothing that Ledesma could have done differently, it seems. It's one of those moments where you're in the racing line. Well, shoot, this race has not been
short of excitement here tonight. We've seen a lot of carnage, a lot of chaos, and we're not even halfway through the race. So things are, and one thing's for sure, I think race control is going to have a long day ahead of them looking through all the incidents. I feel for the race control committee that they'll have to be doing some extra work on tonight's race here at Texas, looking over each incident and dishing out whatever they need to by the rules, for the rules. Even though we're not quite halfway, man, has Joe Irwin been on one here tonight. And so I believe this is caution number 9 here tonight. All the drivers, they're pretty much moved through the field now, as the only driver not to gain a spot from their qualifying position as they sit in the top 10 is Matt Parasini, who actually is running where he qualified, and Garrett Walden, who dropped 9 spots back from pole position. Everyone else in the top 10 has gained spots here tonight from their initial starting position. So we've got a lot of people that have had good runs cut short, started up front, dropped to the back now. Looking at the likes of Josh Hall at the back with 2 spots back from where he started. Jay Stinson lost 10 spots here tonight to settle into 24th. Charles Stevens Jr. lost 14 spots to settle into 23rd. Josh Freed -2 to 22. Billy Titoff +3 from his qualifying position. It seems like he qualified towards the back of the field. He's been in a couple wrecks here tonight, but looks like he's on pit road getting service done on that number 79 machine. As is the 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. and Sylvain Segoen. Alrighty, we are doubled up to get back and rolling here tonight. Field looking a little bit lighter since the start of the race. We still have at least 20 cars out there, but that's a far cry from the 25 that we had start here tonight. We get some green flag racing, I'll try to do another through the field, brought to you by Butt Kicker.
Green flag, green flag.
Well, John McNeil gets up into second there, highest he's been here tonight. Kenneth Redinger losing spots here. He's going to lose a spot to Brzezowski, who's now up 16 spots from where he started. settling down a little bit here for now. Joe Irwin still at the front of the field leading. And let's get a through the field run through here tonight. So obviously Joe Irwin as your leader. He's got a good lead over John McNeil in the 48. Crazy to think that this car almost flipped on the backstretch, and here he is running in second. And we got Nathan Brzezowski up 16 spots here tonight. He's sitting in front of Kenneth Redinger, who's also been on the climb. Matt Bands up 6 spots from the start. Jesse Whittington reclaiming his top 10 running order after spinning from in the top 10 earlier. Matt Pericini, Garrett Walden, Zach Stevens, your winner from Daytona earlier this season. Matthew Fritz, who had a near victory at Daytona. Unfortunately, the seas kind of shrunk up on him there at the end of the Super Speedway race. Justin Parham, after the repair, he's back out running in 11th. Then we've got Trey Spears running in 12th. Ryan Gomes running in 13th. Joshua King. Warren Kyle Keith has not been able to rebound quite yet. He's mired back in 15th. Lauren Vincent is the last of the cars on the lead lap here. So now we've got our lap down cars. You got Vince Brent, 17 laps down. This would be 1 lap down. Seguin, 2 laps down in the number 63. And Sharn Hill also 2 laps down in the number 5. Woo, the leaders are catching up with lap traffic here at Seguin.
Yellow flag is out.
And our 10th caution of the night comes just shy of halfway. So here we have the number 5 of Sharn Hill, and evidently the 12 of Trey Spears was involved in this wreck somehow too. Oh, we got loose racing with the 55 of Gomes there. So let's just rewind that a hair. Yeah, I got loose. Turn 2 claims another victim here tonight. It's been a ugly portion of the track. He spins out and unfortunately slides back up the track. Sharn Hill with nowhere to go T-bones him on the passenger side. And that is what brings out your 10th caution here tonight, folks. So right here kind of opens up some windows, but it's not going to be complete. I mean, you're going to be cutting it close with 78 laps to go on fuel. I think the window here at Texas is probably about 68 some laps. So pitting early, pitting now might help on a short run. You're definitely not going to win on a strategy call like this. You'll need a little bit of brakes to catch back up to the winning strategy, I would say. I am pretty impressed with all the gainers that we've had here tonight. Everyone pretty much in the top 10 has gained spots from their qualifying position except for 2. And you look at Warren Kyle Keith, he could gain 2 spots and be one of those drivers that's gained up in the top 10. Sometimes all it takes is for one driver to make a mistake and give everyone a spot. Lights are still on the pace car. We'll probably get back to green at about lap 75, which will mark the halfway point of tonight's race here at the Texas 150. Alrighty, getting ready for the restart. Joe Irwin has led every lap here tonight. He is making it look simple. And I guarantee you, it's no walk in the park here. This track is tough for these drivers, and it's proven tonight how tough it is, just on turn 2 alone. $17 cars on the lead lap. It looks like 18 cars left running. Most of the other drivers from 19th on back are out of the race at the moment. Whether or not they'll be out for good, we'll see. But out with damage off the racing surface.
Green, green, green.
They get bunched up for the restart. The 03 gets another great jump on the rest of the field. Let's do another side-by-side. Hopefully we won't jinx him this time as we hop in with the driver's seat of Jesse Whittington. And halfway through the race, halfway to go, you can see the lights coming on the race. So this is where the cars are going to start changing. Some of the drivers that were so good for the first half, their cars might get away from them here as the transition from day to night makes a big difference on how the car handles. Climbing back through the field, Justin Parham up into 8th, I just now noticed. Warren Kyle Keith, he cracked the top 10 there. Might have been a little bit of a misshift there on Jesse Whittington. You saw the smoke puff.
The yellow flag is out.
We're back under caution here tonight. Number 11. So this time, bringing out the caution, it looks to be the 12 of Trey Spears. Oh. Middle of turn 1 this time. Alrighty, well, another one bites the dust. It looks like Spears out of the race for now. Leaves us with only 17 cars under power here from the 25 that started tonight. So far for the team standings after 2 races this year, Cypress Academy leads the, I guess you could call it the Constructors Championship or the team championships. They have a 29-point lead over Venom Racing, and then an even larger lead over 3rd place Neon Racing. Royalty Motorsports and Adrenaline Racing round out your top 5 for the team championship. So Cypress Academy here tonight so far have quite the group of drivers running up front. As they have Matt Parasini, who, where'd Parasini fall? Wow, Matt Parasini dropped to 15th. So a tough break for him. He was having a top 5 run at one point, now outside of the top 10. Vince Brent still out there running. He's 16th, one of the last cars on the lead lap. That's another Cypress Academy driver. Charles Stevens, unfortunately, his day came to an early stop, so it's looking to be a little bit tougher for points on Cypress Academy tonight. However, their other 2 drivers are still in the mix. Jesse Whittington, who we were just racing alongside there, he dropped. He must have made this opportunity to go down pit road and get some gas and fresh tires. So kind of in unity, the Cypress Academy has dropped all the way outside the top 10. Their only other driver, Garrett Walden, who currently sits in 10th, is going to be restarting here, trying to get back up to the front. Lights are off on the pace car. John McNeil gets the outside. Joe Irwin gets the inside. As it's going to be 70 laps left to go here from Texas. Oh, and here we go. It's not even looking like much of a competition for Joe Irwin, as he is killing it on the starts, driving away with the lead, and obviously clean air is king whenever you're in this next-gen car. And that's what exactly we're getting here tonight. That 03 gets up to an early big jump, driving away with the lead. Might have a competitor here, Nathan Brzezowski. Brzezowski's been able to gain the most spots here tonight, up 17 from his starting position. All he's got to do is find one more spot here, and that is the top position. The gap growing between him and second place Brzezowski, up to a half-second lead now, as Joe Irwin is just on another level here tonight in Texas. Sylvain Seguin is one lap down here tonight. Oh, and the 55 of Gomes is losing it in the background.
Yellow flag is out.
I think this might be caution number 13, if I'm not mistaken. And it looks like it's going to take out another sizable chunk of drivers here late in the race. Yeah, let's hop onto the camera here for the 55 of Ryan Gomes. There he is on the exit of turn 2. Turn 2, tricky turn 2, claiming another victim. I sound like a broken record at this point. I don't even know how many more victims it can claim here tonight. Ow, the 72 of Baines with nowhere to go. The 24 of Perricini with nowhere to go. In rolls the 92 of Vince Brent. Keith getting spun out as well in the number 9. And the 07 of Lauren Vincent also mildly involved in this one. Kind of interesting. You see the safer barrier where there's a kind of a gap in the safer barrier segments there. That was interesting. I'm sure that's true to the form of the track, since iRacing does all the laser printing to make the tracks as truly realistic and lifelike as possible. You never see that from the high speed angles usually. And that's what I just kind of noticed that there. Well, I'm going to step away here for a brief intermission, but I'll be right back before the green flag resets the restart. Well, how about that for a shakeup? Don't know how it happened, but Matthew Fritz is going to start outside front row for this restart. Kind of out of nowhere, the 67 finds his way up into the front.
Green flag, green flag.
We're back and rolling here on lap 86. Joe Irwin, your leader. Matthew Fritz up to second. And they're wrecking. You see the wreck happening.
Yellow flag.
That was the 48 of John McNeil just losing it on the front of the racetrack there. Well, we get to re-rack them and try it again. Faith Berzowski's definitely had an up and down day today here. He's fallen back into 9th at the moment, but we had seen him as high. So when I stepped away, I'm wondering if they maybe had pit stops, because some of these drivers were up at the front, kind of shaked up a little bit. They pit when they did pit there, it would probably put us right at about the window to make it to the finish on fuel mileage here. So if everyone has pitted, they should be good to go. We'll see. Zach Stevens, your race winner from Daytona earlier this season. Justin Parham looked stout at Daytona, had some stints at the front of the field, and he's worked his way back up to the front here tonight. That 19 car was in the wall, quick repair, and back through the field up into 4th. Keep your eyes on that 19. He could still be a threat here tonight. Well, it's never a good sign when the number of cars retired is eking ever closer to the amount of drivers left running. Still, we have more drivers running than we do retired, which is good. That number with each retirement is getting really close to identical, as we've got 10 cars retired here tonight and 15 cars left running in the mix. From a driver's perspective, it's got to be hard to game plan here, to strategize, when you do not get a good green flag run to figure it out. Putting yourself in the shoes of the race car drivers here tonight, this is a tough race. Mentally, it can be exhausting. And physically, obviously, they've got, very little exertion here tonight from the extended breaks in between each caution. So a lot of times races like this are a big challenge to all the drivers, and you'll see which drivers are able to rise to the occasion. I mean, every race has kind of got its quirks. This one tonight, obviously caution filled, but in the end, the grand scheme of things, it's still a race. There's still a win up on the line here tonight, and someone's going to get a win and
Green flag, green
build
flag.
that points bucket that they're trying to build up to win the championship. Man, Joe Irwin way gone. Like the Sheryl Crow song from the movie Cars. He's real gone up front there, driving away with it on each restart. Oh no, Fritz lost it there. Driving through the grass. I don't know if he had a disconnect on the internet or what. Man, there's been some weird things happening here tonight. Fritz, unfortunately, on the Fritz, dropping to the back. He was able to rejoin. Maybe he's trying to go down pit road. I don't know. He stays out. Tail end of the field now. 15th of the 15 cars left running. Kenneth Redinger settles back into second here. Another driver with a lot of up and down ventures here tonight. But how about Zach Stevens, kind of from out of nowhere tonight, up into fourth? Your Daytona winner, kind of on a lucky shot when they all started wrecking around him. The Red Seas parted and allowed him through victory lane. But tonight might be a different story. He could do this on pure skill and racecraft tonight, as he's been able to gain 17 spots and just stay out of trouble. He's still got about a full 2 seconds gap from him to the leader here. And Joe Irwin, man, it's going to take him to stub his toes something fierce for any of these drivers to actually usurp him from the lead. Oh, wow, 3 wide, almost 3 wide. Zach Stevens changed up his line there to try and find some more speed, it looked like. He flipped the outside wall. But now trying to hunt down the 43, Garrett Walden, who was your pole setter earlier tonight. Finally, we have settled into our longest green flag run here. Of course, as soon as I open my mouth, that's probably when I'll jinx it. But so far, so good. Your contenders looking stout here, getting some good laps in, getting a feel for their car. We'll see if Joe Irwin has the long run setup. He's under attack now. He hasn't really had a chance to burn up his stuff with all the cautions. So Kenneth Redinger knocking on the door. Potential position on the line for the lead. Kenneth Redinger had a great run at Daytona earlier in the year and had some troubles at Vegas, but he's bouncing back tonight like nothing happened. Looking stout, as it's a Chevrolet brigade at the front of the field. Chevy's got a stranglehold on the top 9. Got to look back to 10th and find Warren Kyle Keith, the first Ford, and then it's Chevy 11th and 12th, Ford in 13th, Chevy in 14th, Toyota in 15th. It is kind of an unfair statistic when looks like about 85% of the field is Chevy, in fact. So, oh, Nathan Brzezowski dropping down the running order. It looks like he got in a wreck. So our longest green flag run of the night gets capped off here at lap 102 for what would be about caution number 15. And this happens right in front of Jesse Whittington. Oh, Whittington and him kind of got into it there. Wow, he saves it. Oh, and then it just, man, these cars are hard to save. Just when you think you got it saved, it hooks again and throws you a curveball. like by the rules that might be one of those you have to claim. So we'll see if Whittington has to drop to the back. Well, we've got people coming down pit road. And we've got some folks staying out. Joe Irwin might lose the lead for the first time here tonight under pit stops as John McNeil leads the field right now. Wow, and Joe Irwin's going to lose even more positions on pit road here. Gomes with a killer pit stop, and Redinger as well. Both beat him off pit road. So that could be a pivotal change in position there, as we have not seen drivers in front of Joe Irwin yet tonight. John McNeil stays out, inherits the lead. He might pit this next time, just get a lead lap and then pull it down pit road, but we'll see. I'm thinking he's going to be a gambling man here in Texas and try to stay out. Ryan Gomes has to come back down pit road. He must have had a speeding penalty. And that could have been why he had such a great jump on Joe Irwin. So unfortunately, he has to relinquish the position that he had on the exit of pit road there. Too good to be true. But Kenneth Redinger still ahead of Joe Irwin. And this restart might be kind of wild, as you've got a slower car, assumedly slower. John McNeil on older tires might not get through the gears as quickly here. Hopefully they get a clean start here on lap 105. We are back and rolling here with 45 laps to go.
Green flag, green flag.
48 gets a good start, but that also means the 03 of Joe Irwin gets a great start as well. Joe Irwin not skipping a beat, even after the pit stops kind of shook him back. He's bounced back, fighting for the lead again already. Oh, no. And we were watching that right as it was happening. Wow. No way. No way. That, man. The twists and turns of race cars, motorsports, it always leaves you guessing. It always gives you something new that you just didn't expect to see. And here we are again with the leader of the race getting in a wreck tonight. Wow. So it was a valiant effort from McNeil there to go out on old stuff and try to duke it out with the leaders. He cut down too low, didn't know that the gap had shrunk, and cut right in front of Joe Irwin. That is the only wrong move tonight on, well, I wouldn't even say that was Irwin's fault necessarily. No means in placing blame on it for anyone, for that matter. But that's the first time the 03's been put in a situation where it took him for a spin. Wow. It's a lot nastier when you're at full speed. You're not at quarter time. The hits look a lot harder. The damage looks a lot more severe. And we are getting caution fever here tonight, folks. I've lost count. I think we've had at least 16 cautions here in the race. What is going on with your leader? How'd Garrett Walden get on a lap all of his own? What did I miss now? What in the world? So there's the pace car. The caution's out. Everyone's still racing like the pace car never made it out. So they're already a full lap ahead of the pace car at this point. Okay, now it looks a little bit normal. That was the quickest caution break there, I feel like. It took so long for the pace car to get caught up with the leaders. They had already completed a lap ahead of the pace car before it caught up to them. So with the restart, you're going to have Kenneth Redinger, Garrett Walden, Justin Parham, race winner earlier this season, Zach Stevens, Jesse Whittington, your top 5. Still have 15 cars running. And that is all 16 if you include the lap down cars there. 17 with Matt Parasini. Well, as we get dialed up here for the restart, let's do another side-by-side with Jesse Whittington. Back up to 4th here. Competition a little different now. We knew what the 03 had for speed. I'm not quite sure what we know of these drivers leading the way right now. Caution number 17, 18, or 19. Might be pushing 20 before long. So this caution comes on lap 110. Oh, looks like McNeil involved in another wreck here. Oh, there you go. Man. Wow, he had a... Okay, so there's a big gain there because the 77 gets loose. Okay, this wreck starts for about half a lap here. 9 gets loose, slides up the track. Alrighty. Getting back in line to restart this race. Your leaders, Kenneth Redinger, Garrett Walden. Man, what a yo-yo style race that he's been through today. Up and down, up and down. Pole position all the way to the back. And back all the way up to the front here.
Green flag.
Rough start for the 99. He did not get going. Four wide. They're going to start wrecking if they're not careful. They're wrecking. They didn't wreck. Holy cow. I don't know how they didn't wreck there. That looked that looked absurd. But back to the front of the field from pole position is the 43 of Garrett Walden. Jesse Whittington back to the front as well. Joe Irwin trying to climb his way back up. He's made his way up to fourth here. The rest of the drivers up front here better be careful because he is a threat to win this race. Even after losing all the spots, 34 laps remain. Do not count out the 0-3 yet. Matthew Fritz back in the top 5, that 67 right there. Alongside Joe Irwin. Oh, the 43 loses it at the lead. like he might have clipped the wall there. That opened the door for the 94 of Whittington to jump to the front. And with that, that has also given the 03 of Joe Irwin a chance to bounce back here. Jesse Whittington, your leader. Kenneth Redinger in second. Garrett Walton going back around the outside, so his car coming back alive. The 03 running on the outside of the 99 now. This is for all the marbles. This is when the racing gets amped up a little bit more. Drivers laying it all on the line. Redinger getting passed here by Irwin. The 03 back up to third. Matthew Fritz right there as well. They're now chasing down the 94 of Jesse Whittington. Down to the final 30 laps here tonight. Kind of crazy to look at the running order right now. 2 of the top 3 were right about there where they started tonight. They're -1 spot. They'd started the race 1-2 today. They're sitting 2-3 to the surprise candidate that jumped to the top in Jesse Whittington. Behind them, you've got Kenneth Redinger, who's been up 13 spots. Matthew Fritz up 13 spots. Zach Stevens in 8th has gained 13 spots. Ryan Gomes in 9th has gained 13 spots. And then 12th, you got Sylvain Seguin, who has gained 13 spots. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, maybe 13 was the lucky number. It really does seem like it is here while the laps wind down. 30, 29, 28 to go. Since Joe Irwin got around the 99, it seems like his car kind of stalling a little bit here, not gaining on the leaders. And actually, Garrett Walton trying to close that gap back up to Jesse Whittington. Got a car stalled on the apron there. That would have been the 66 of Sylvain Seguin. And I think that marks the end of the day for Seguin. Well, spending time on pit road right now, but of the drivers left running, I think Sylvain's only going to lose maybe a spot or 2 under competition here. Back to the teammates, and the team's top 2 belong to Cypress Academy with Garrett Walden and Jesse Whittington. And they do have, that's actually all the drivers they've got in the top 10. Matt Parasini is 17th, laps down. Vince Brent is 16th, laps down. Charles Stevens out of the race. So if you're looking at 4th place, Kenneth Redinger.
That is a free agent driver. He has not landed. So the 03 of Irwin and the 99 of Redinger, both free agents, not tied to a team yet. Matthew Fritz running in 5th. That is the top position for Venom Racing. And Venom Racing also has the likes of Zach Stevens, who's running in 9th. Justin Parham, who's running in 6th. Chase Greer, which we haven't seen here today. He didn't sign up for this race, evidently. So we're missing Chase Greer in the field. And Jay Stinson had a tough day, 24th, out of the race right now. We're down to 23 laps to go. Garrett Walden losing a little bit of his grasp on the 94. He was catching him there briefly, but unfortunately losing the momentum that he had carrying to try and catch that 94. I find it funny in the comments that everyone's been hashtag free 93. The 93, obviously, for those that don't know, had his win revoked at Las Vegas. That is none other than the 93. Of Zach Lockett. Sorry, folks, I was trying to get my stats compiled there. Where Zach Lockett's not in the field tonight either after getting that win revoked from the restart penalty. Hopefully everyone passes protocol here tonight, and that, hopefully that means we're interviewing the race winner at the end of tonight. Fortunately, we didn't interview Charles Stevens Jr. as the winner last race because he didn't know that he was going to get the win at the conclusion of the broadcast. So that's just one of those things. It's like, they print out all the Super Bowl gear for either team depending on who wins it. But what happens to all that gear that they printed out for the losing team? Oh, obviously, they've got to burn it, dispose of it, destroy it. So, that's kind of an off-track side note, but similar to what happened with our race winner not getting interviewed, I guess. Sometimes I just go off on tangents, and I apologize. Well, it went from Joe Irwin dominating this race to now Jesse Whittington dominating. We've lost contact with the in-car cam, so no more in-car cam for the rest of the night from Jesse Whittington. Maybe he turned it off as a premonition, a good luck charm to try and hunt down the win here tonight, as he's only got 16 laps to seal the deal. We've been in this race here tonight for about an hour and 45 minutes, the duration, so this has been a lengthy one. The cautions have definitely slowed the race pace down. Could very well be about a 2-hour duration by the end of it. 15 to go. Things have kind of stabled out here, not a lot of movement through the field.
Sylvain Segoen has kind of retired now, so we've only got 16 cars left running. And Jesse Whittington looks to add an exclamation point here tonight as he sits second in the points. The competition wrecked out tonight. Those that are third, the leader of the points, they're going to lose some points, and that's all going to go the direction of Jesse Whittington, even if he doesn't win the race. Mildly impressed here with Garrett Walden. From pole position, he's going to maintain a front row spot here at the end of the race, finishing possibly in second. He could still hunt down Whittington with 13 laps to go as long as this race stays green. Nothing is set in stone yet. Whittington is barely a full second lead over Walden. But Walden is starting to close that gap back up a little bit here. It looks like the speeds are kind of equalizing a little bit. Walden matching him lap for lap. All it's going to come down to is if Jesse makes a mistake, this 43 might be able to pounce. Alrighty, we're down to 10 laps to go. Next lap, we'll be down to single digits for laps left in the race here tonight. They're going to end it on a nice green flag run, it seems, as they finally calm down and they're rolling to the finish. 15 cars left. 16 actually, with Parasini 9 laps down tonight. Oh, and they're gonna wave the checkers, so I don't know if that means that they've got a 2-hour time limit, which might very well be the case. A 2-hour time limit, and they're shutting it down right here. So your race winner tonight, Jesse Whittington. Garrett Walden brings it home second. Matthew Fritz in third. A podium finish for Matthew Fritz. And that, you know, folks, is the grittiness. This race kind of tested everyone here tonight. Might have tested a couple drivers' patience, but here we are, cutting the race short 10 laps early. 94 is your winner here tonight. I'm sure this has something to do with whoever crosses the line is the winner. But yeah, people going down pit road right now. Maybe just a team celebration thing. That was kind of neat, catching that moment there. All the cars 3 wide on the start finish line, your podium. Kind of a neat photo op for the social media pages. But Jesse Whittington burning it down, getting the win here tonight for his team. And so that is a 1-2 for Cypress Academy. Matthew Fritz, part of the Venom Racing stables. And he is burning it down here, folks. Your winner on the race. And so with that, let us look at the overall results here tonight. Your winner, Jesse Whittington for Cypress Academy, Garrett Walden for Cypress Academy, and Venom Racing's Matthew Fritz bring home the podium. Then you had Justin Parham. Joe Irwin was able to rebound for a 5th at the end there. Lauren Vincent, Warren Keith, Zach Stevens, Ryan Gomes, Kenneth Redinger, your top 10. Then you had Josh King, Nathan Brzezowski, John McNeil, Matt Bands, Vince Brent, and Matt Parasini, the last of the cars still running here tonight. And then the bottom end of the field there, everyone that finished in the garage here tonight, from Trey Spears, or rather Sylvain Sigone back to Jay Stinson. So let us interview our podium finishers here tonight. And we will start with your 3rd place finisher, Matthew Fritz. It's Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Matthew?
Yes.
Heck, man, that was a big bounce back there tonight. How did you feel out there at Texas?
We had so many yellows. I really didn't know how the car drove, to be honest with you, for a while. And I wrecked myself twice, so that was all on me. That was not very good. But we bounced back, and taking 4 tires there at the end was good. We didn't get to finish all the laps, so but yeah, it was a long race, and we shouldn't have that many cautions in this league. But I don't know. I think people were just over driving it, but it happens.
Well, and what I was kind of noticing, I do feel like maybe the next gen car is a little bit unstable here at Texas. I have not personally driven this car at Texas myself, but I've known it to step out on certain tracks, you know, where there's bumps and there's. So I don't know if it's necessarily the drivers. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here tonight because it looked like the same spot on the track where it was taking them all out. How did you feel with the setup on the car? Did it feel right all night?
It was a little sketchy in 1 and 2, but it got better as the night went on. It got tighter, which I was, of course, because this car gets tight. But no, the first couple laps were kind of sketchy, but then it got better. But yeah, couldn't really tell you. We didn't have the last run was probably the best run we had, and it felt okay.
Yeah, with all those cautions, it was probably very mentally exhausting to get in and out of the racing line and whatnot. So, any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank my mom, my dad, my grandmother for watching. All my teammates, Venom, Jay for doing the paint scheme, Eminem Pet Sing as my sponsor, and I gotta thank you for broadcasting.
Totally. Yeah, enjoy watching the races each week, and you earned this one tonight through all the trials and tribulations. Congratulations on the podium, and enjoy this one.
I appreciate it.
And so that was Matthew Fritz with 3rd on the night. We will go ahead and jump to your pole setter, bringing it home 2nd here tonight, Garrett Walden. This is Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Garrett?
Yeah, I got a copy, buddy.
Man, how was this race tonight? It looked kind of like a yo-yo for you. You were up at the top at one point, dropped to the back, and then found your way back to the top again. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's a lot of just strategy across the board for this race. Did not expect the amount of cautions that we had, so I kind of had to play where I think the next caution is going to come out, having fresh tires, saving tires. A lot of it was just being on the freshest tires and staying out of trouble, which is I think I did a pretty good job tonight of doing.
Yeah, the cautions were definitely the big topic of the night, and it was kind of a surprise because with the first two races of the season, we didn't have. I mean, I think we topped nearly 20 cautions. That's maybe a little bit of an exaggeration here tonight, but feels like Texas was just hard to tangle with here tonight. So, but either way, you qualified first. You seem to have the car, to be competitive tonight. If this race were to go green, was there anything else you would have changed?
I mean, me and Jesse were pretty even. I felt like we had both saved at the same amount of tires there. We had both saved at the caution before, and I don't really know much else I could have done because mine and his lap times were literally mirroring each other. So I don't know if there much I could have done. I could have just drove it a bit deeper in some of the corners, but um, I just all around for me, I just felt like that's the best I could do with what we had tonight.
Well, yeah, Cypress Academy definitely puts together some hot rods there. Any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank after this second place finish?
Yeah, I've thanked my team and everybody on it, and thank the admins for putting on the race as best they can. Thanks to all the guys I was running around. Jesse, Fritz was good, and I was running around some of the other guys like Parham and Warren and Stevens. Like it's just like the guys I ran around tonight and I had a good race with. But and thank you for putting on an awesome broadcast as usual. So just all across the board, everybody was I think just to thank everybody for doing what they do.
Most definitely. Yeah, have a great night, my dude. Enjoy the second place finish, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right.
And that was your second place driver, Garrett Walden, who had set on the pole here tonight. And so we will go ahead and interview the race winner, number 94 of Jesse Whittington. Jacob in the booth, do you copy Jesse?
I got you, man.
Well, how about that? I mean, you were spinning out earlier before the end of the first stage, had to recover, bounce back, and with a little bit of luck and a little bit of perseverance, you were able to find your way back up there late in the race. I know there was a lot of cautions. That was kind of the big, subject of the night, and it really kind of threw everyone a curveball. But how did you approach the race with this many cautions? What did you do to change your mindset?
Well, first of all, before I talk about the race itself, I do want to apologize to the 12 car Trey Spears. That first caution, I got loose right in front of him, and I felt like in the moment, I felt like he was not giving me any room to try to even be able to save it. And come to find out, he was letting up. He had people right on him, and I just want to apologize for him. I, I mean, it was on me. I knew it was on me, but I was just frustrated. And also the 33 car, Zachary Stevens. I made some contact with him a couple times under caution, and completely unintentional, but it did happen. Zachary, love you, dude. I didn't mean to do that. But the race itself, man, uh, you could kind of see it coming in practice. There were a lot of people getting loose off of turn two. Um, it was really hard. Like if you were trying to make a pass on the bottom side, if you didn't complete it mid corner, it was really hard to keep the car pinched. And even if you just missed the groove a little bit, it was hard to, put the power down going down the backstretch. Um,
Is
at the
that
end of the day, though, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, is that possibly a formula or a product of the next gen car here at Texas, or is that not often the case?
Uh, yes and no. It used to be a big problem coming off of turn four, like where it would transition from the 24-degree banking to basically nothing. But for some reason, ever since the aero and tire update, Turn two, just it almost feels like a push loose. Like you got so much wheel in the car trying to make sure you're not running into the wall that it's just snapping the back end around as soon as the front end grips up. So, yes and no. Um, I mean, in all honesty, I enjoy those types of tracks. I love working the throttle, but at the same time, like I I hate being a part of races like this. I don't ever want to have a race end under time instead of caution. But I mean, that's not a knock in the league because that's not normally how we are at all. I love this group. I want to be with these guys for a while, so um, definitely not a knock on that.
Well, and you'll see it in the big leagues. I mean, even real life NASCAR. There's some races that are just kind of a head scratcher, and um, we'll recoup, recover, and move on to the next one. This one is just a kind of a blip on the radar.
Right.
So other than that, yeah, that you mentioned there was some contact. I mean, there was contact probably all throughout the race here tonight. But minus that, how else did the car function for you tonight? You felt pretty good.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. I didn't at no part during practice, during qualifying, during the race. I didn't feel like I could push the car very hard at the beginning of the run, but I felt really good on the long run. Like give me 15, 20 laps and that's where I felt like I could excel and get the most out of my car. And I mean, turns out I don't know what happened to the 99 on that restart. Um, I felt like I heard him launch on the final restart. I felt like I heard him launch. Um, but I was trying to hang back. I thought I was trying to hang back as much as I could and not jump the restart. And and finally I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go. So um
Yeah, it
yeah,
seems like there's a lot that can be dissected from the race here
oh my
tonight.
gosh, yes. There is so much. It's wild.
Well, is there any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight? What got you to this point?
Oh, absolutely. The primary sponsor for tonight, Moza. I'm really enjoying my R5, the direct drive wheel. Uh, Blacklight, go to blacklight.com/jwit94 and you can get 10% off of your order for a gaming chair or gaming desk or some other accessories like that. My buddy Luke Haley, I always have him on the cars. Shady Rays, and of course my buddy Big Fish Barbecue. I've always got him on the back of the car for this whole season. And in case you don't know, he is the very first sponsor that you get in NASCAR 25
I saw
in
that.
career mode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I saw a post on that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, man, I'm so proud of him and how far he's come. It started as a hobby and it's turned into this. Of course, I want to thank my team, Cypress Academy. We're always dissecting our races and seeing what we can do different and what we can do better. And we have a group that just works really hard. The admins for putting this on every week, and you, of course, for doing the broadcast for us. I'm excited to go back and watch this one. I think. Um, I I hate the cautions, but I'm excited to go back and kind of dissect from there. But that's about it, man. I've got a lot of people I'm always thankful for.
Well, totally. Yeah, no, we enjoyed the race. I was watching and trying to keep it lively, and thank you too for doing the video ninja with us so that we can kind of ride along with you. I featured in a couple spots during the broadcast there. Hopefully, if anyone else is listening here, we've got that link. If you want to hop in, we'll utilize it wherever,
Hey, we need
whoever.
to pin it in the chat. See if an admin can do that.
Yeah, no,
Remind people.
I, I get so busy. I just don't get a chance to post on Discord as soon as I get home. But yeah, we can try to
Hey,
figure out
if I can remember next week, I'll try to tag you and the admins. We'll get it worked out. See if we can get some more people in on it.
Sweet. Yep. Nope. Thank you and congratulations tonight on the win.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
We'll see you in the next one.
Yes, sir.
And that is a wrap here tonight, folks, from Texas. 150 minus 10 laps, 140. And none other than your defending champion, Jesse Whittington, takes home the victory once all the dust settled. Garrett Walden, second. Matthew Fritz, third. And Joe Irwin, man, he had a great car here tonight. Just wrong place, wrong time. Got tangled up in a wreck, took him out of it. But he tried to bounce back and just didn't have the speed at the push to the finish there. Ultimately had 16 cars left running of the 25. It was a wreck-filled night, highlighted by about 20 cautions here. It's hard to keep track. I lost count. It might have been 18. It could have been 20. But somewhere around there is the ballpark estimate on the caution count here tonight. Well, we will be back next week, and a little bit of change in the racing track design, as this is a 1.5 mile track. We're going to be changing it up to Richmond, so some short track racing right around Halloween. Next Wednesday on the 29th, 175 laps from Richmond. Stage break at lap 50. If we thought Texas was chaotic, just wait till Richmond next week. Should be a good race. Ultimately, though, here at the end of the night, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. Those of you that caught the re-air, thank you for catching that. And thanks for Intensity Broadcasting. Thank you to the SCSRA Dev Sports Card Cup Series. Everything you guys do is awesome. I enjoy covering the races week in, week out, and hoping to give more people recognition once I'm spreading the word out there, trying to get more people on my side of things tuned in and watching the races as well. Appreciate everything you guys do, and thank you to everyone. Ultimately, stay safe out there. Have a great night. Might be late on the East Coast. It's still a little bit early on the West Coast here. But I'm going to get retired for the evening. With that, have a great night, everyone. This is Jakester, signing out.